my favorite toys as a baby was a ball, a bat, and a guitar. That's not even a joke. I can show you those pictures in my baby book at home. So, but I would have to say that my first love would have been music.
What up, peeps? Welcome to another episode of Next Friday. Now, this week, we're joined by a former West Indian cricketer and recording artist, my brother, Omari Banks. How you doing, family?
I'm good, my brother. Happy to be here. Happy to be alive. It's a new day. I mean, especially in the times that we're living in right now, it's a blessing to be alive. So every day that we're alive, it's a great thing. Happy to be here with you, my brother, and hope you're having a good day as well.
Yeah, Omari, respect. And just for some of our viewers who don't know Omari, you're from Anguilla.
So I'm from Angola. Was born here in Angola. Traveled quite a bit, of course, in my time in professional sport. Played official cricket for England, for Leicestershire, Somerset, as well. So well traveled because of sport. Of course, now in the music, I do quite a bit of traveling as well. But Angola is home, and that is where I spend most of my time. My kids are here, family's here. I get out to do the work, do the business, but Angola is always home.
Yeah, man. All right. So, would you describe cricket as your first love, though? Was it cricket or music? Your first love?
I would say, and that's a very tough question. It's a tough question in the sense that if you go back to my baby books, my mom did a really good job of documenting my life as a baby. And my favorite toys as a baby was a ball, a bat, and a guitar. That's not even a joke. I can show you those pictures in my baby book at home. So, but I would have to say that my first love would have been music. Just growing up in a environment where my dad was a professional recording artist. So he was always rehearsing, performing, traveling, touring. And even as a child, before I got into playing sports full time, my mom did a really good job of putting me into like a lot of talent shows and that kind of stuff. So I was around music. And then cricket, I was good at sports too as a child. And I mean, growing up in the Caribbean, you got to do everything. You play music, but when you go outside, not only cricket, you're playing football, running, marbles, everything. You know what I mean? So sports was a big part of my upbringing. But I would definitely say probably music was there first. Was there first because that was what my dad was about. That was what around me I saw a lot of the time.
Okay, fair enough. But how did you get involved with the music professionally, though? Because I know you were born into music. As you say, you saw your dad playing, rehearsing, all these things. But how do you recall that moment when you decided you want to take music to a different level and pursue it professionally?
Yeah, so as I said before, growing up in the music, etc., I had that love for actually playing music, you know what I mean? But it's different when you're going into it as a career because from the age of 8, 9 years old, I developed an obsession with sport, you know what I mean? So all I wanted to do was play cricket and even at that time, music was on the back burner. It was just like, okay, cool. My focus is cricket and I'm going to play music basically just to supplement that as a fun thing. After playing cricket professionally for 12 years, I think I had a lot to say.
Miscued. And the gone this time. Shiv Narayan Chandrapur taking the catch, and that's Omari Banks getting his first test wicket. And isn't he happy?
When it comes to a time in sports, everybody knows that there will be ups, there'll be downs, and that kind of stuff. And I wanted to get away from, I should say, the structured format kind of way of life. I think in sports, I shouldn't say just structured, but I mean the kind of hierarchy of it all. And I think in a lot of ways, music gives that kind of freedom for you to be able to express yourself. And I
Yeah.
was longing for that because I mean, although I was brought up around cricket, I think having the genetic kind of pool of my dad and my mom, they are very free people. You know what I'm saying? They're very disciplined people, but they're very free. They like to do things their way. And I think in sports, sometimes we have to, in team sports especially, we got to kind of go inside a certain box. And for me, music was kind of being able to jump out of the box. And I was ready at that point in time in my life to jump out of the box of having to just the structure of to do whatever this person says or that person says, I follow this certain rules. And I had a lot inside of me to say. I think I learned a lot in my time in sport. And I had it all inside me to say. So I mean, especially songwriting, which is something which I enjoy doing. I had a lot on my heart, which I needed to get out, and the music afforded me that opportunity to really do that. So back at the age of 29 years old, I actually decided to leave professional sports after 12 years at a time where people expected me to push on a little bit even longer within the sporting arena. I actually was the captain of the Leeward's team when I retired.
Yeah.
And I just was ready to move on from that. Actually, that was the name of my first single as well. I'd spent a bit of time outside of West Indies team, played a couple of seasons over in England, came back to the Caribbean, was really thinking about how would I break back into the West Indies team. And it really didn't work out in the first season. And then I was asking myself, do I really want to kind of follow the same lines which I followed in the past? And then when I asked myself that question, the answer was I wasn't ready to do all the things which I'd done before to try to get back to where I was in terms of not even just in terms of preparation or practice, because that's a part of it, but just the mentality which is required to really take that step to play international cricket or even to get into the international cricket team. So that was kind of the catalyst of me in terms of the mentality of me going into music. But also, I was always known as a cricketer who would carry his guitar on the road with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all the time when I was on the road, I always have my guitar playing, but for myself. You know, maybe if a girl comes to the room, it's always a good thing to play the guitar. Another feather in the cap, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that was something which I enjoyed doing. But as the years went on, I mean, in my last year of playing professionally, I started to play the guitar in my room even more. I remember my last tour. That was actually with the Leeward Islands. I remember the game was in Guyana and the game got rained out, and I was in my room for that whole week. You know, I was practicing my guitar almost 18 hours a day. I mean, just because it just was rain, you know, it can get in Guyana sometimes.
Yeah.
So I was just in my room, got up, eat breakfast, play my guitar, learn some scales, learn some licks, learn some. This just was really delving deeper into the guitar. I had played guitar my whole life, but now I was questioning whether or not I wanted to continue in the sport. So I really needed to get my knowledge of the instrument and my just you know what I mean just the skills up to a level. So I started to play a lot more even while I was playing cricket, and then I made that decision to just walk away from it. A lot of people at that time really didn't believe I was serious because they know how focused I was on my cricket. So when I decided to say, hey, I'm not coming practice anymore, I'm not taking part in this competition, people were, what? He's probably just going through a period, but I was ready to move on.
Yeah. Wow. I want you to tell me a little about how you describe your musical style.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. How would you describe your style of music? Different from everybody else. What makes Omari Banks music Omari Banks?
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, one of my influences, I for the most part with music which I've released so far is basically kind of a reggae music, but I'm not Jamaican. And I've got a lot of different influences, and my accent is different. So the way how a Jamaican writes a song, in terms of a lot of the Jamaican songs, the accent or the dialect is part of that. When I
Yeah.
write a song, I actually write a song, and it sounds like me. You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like I should say a little bit more my twang or my slang or my dialect. You know what I mean? So you won't hear, so the traditional Jamaican would have the Jamaican slangs and way of how they use words, which is awesome. It's cool as well, but So instantly when you hear me, you hear something a little bit different. As well, too, I was brought up with a influence of a singer-songwriter. My dad is, although my dad it has one of the longest privately owned music festivals in the Caribbean, Splash, and it's a reggae festival. His style of music is not traditionally reggae music. It's almost
Okay.
like alternative singer-songwriter folk music, and I was brought up in that kind of environment as well too. So it's almost like I was brought up in an environment where singer songwriter, folk, soul music, rock, that kind of vibe is what I always, you know what I mean, lend kind of my likes kind of lend to, like kind of I always lean towards that. But of course, reggae music has got a message and got a vibe, and I also like the roots reggae music in particular, the organic feel to it, because that's a sort of music where has stayed true to the live instruments, and that's what I've always admired so much and about the reggae music. One, the live music part of it, the roots reggae I'm talking about in particular,
Right.
as
Right.
well as the message that it carried. You know what I mean? Growing up and listening to people like, of course, the cliche names like Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and Manuela. I mean, these are some of the people, you know what I mean, 70s, 80s, growing up as a child, my dad would have listened to. My dad would have played Reggae Sun Splash back in 1983. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying I grew up with that kind of influence as well. So my music is kind of a mixture of that foundation in that kind of reggae music mixed in with the people that I love from the 80s, whether it is Luther Vandross, I mean Billy Ocean, even as a child singing ballads and soul music, Michael Bolton, you know what I mean? Growing up in the 90s, people like Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, R. Kelly. So those, I mean, I think even in Jamaica, you're gonna get a lot of that stuff because I think Jamaica's musical taste is very palatable, is very big as
Definitely.
well. So yeah,
Definitely.
so that's one part of it. But I think the other part that influences my style is one, the fact that I play the guitar. I play lead guitar, I play rhythm guitar. So a lot of my songs are structured around the guitar as well.
Yeah.
So in a lot of times, sometimes in reggae music, you know, the guitar, other than with the solo, just check, is not really outlining the chord. You get what I'm saying? So for
Yeah, man.
me, when I write a song as well, I like to write a song where the guitar is playing a prominent role in kind of come out in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually doing a lot of more of that, even more so, because when I first started to write and bring up music back in 2011, I wanted to be a lot closer to the reggae music that people was hearing. Although it was different, I still wanted to be a little bit
Yeah.
closer. But now it's almost like I'm actually even still going a little bit further away with the reggae bass and stuff, the
Yeah.
reggae foundation, but I still want to get more into what I love, where the guitar can feature a little bit more, it can be a little bit more expressive on stage, and just closer to the things that I love to do. And I think that's kind of what growth is about. You know what I mean? I mean, we start off one way, and as we grow as musicians, as we grow as artists, as we grow as people, as songwriters, sometimes you have more to say, a broader topic to speak about. And as we get better on our instrument, we want to express that a bit more. And for me, that's why when you hear my music, it sounds different. And then, I mean, we've all got our own individual minds. So the way how I think is different to, you know what I mean, maybe somebody else who's in a different environment, and I approach my songwriting a different way. You know what I mean? Just the environment that I grew up in is not the same. We got different issues we deal with here in Anguilla. We have people in different parts of the world might deal with. So the topics that I might speak of, I mean, of course, we're going to share common threads as well on
Yeah.
the issue, but my approach and how I see it may be a little bit different. So in a nutshell, I just think it's about influences. It's about the things that I like. It's about my musical palette, and it's just about the environment as well that I was brought up in.
Okay. Good. All right. So in terms of some of your current projects now, Omari, what are some of the stuff you're working on musically?
Well, actually, I just came off the road about a week and a half ago with a new concept, a new thing which I did, which is called OBT, Omari Banks Trio. So it's and basically I'm actually right in the process of creating music for probably an EP that I'm gonna bring out over the next couple of months with that concept. What I was telling you about, where it's more drum, bass, guitar kind of album with the foundation, still kind of a reggae music vibe, but with a prominent guitar within that. And I'm really happy. I mean, the first thing I work with some of one of he's from Jamaica as well, one of my mentors and one of the people who I respect a lot in music, a gentleman by the name of Mikey Fletcher. He's taught music at a Manley School of Music for years.
Yeah.
I've known him for quite a while. He's played bass on a lot of my songs, but he's one of those people who've got such a grasp of music in general, reggae music in so many different genres. So a lot of my songs I work with him as well in terms of, just work along, whether it be arrangement, etc., and just to get his ideas, because I really respect him a lot in that. So I'm actually working right now on a song which I'm gonna looking to release in the next couple of weeks, maybe a month and a bit. But yeah, just working on yes, Omari Banks Trio, OBT Trio, looking to bring out an EP with that, looking to get on the road and just kind of promote that brand, which is going to be a little bit different to just the stuff which I released a while ago, which was under Omari Banks, which was a little bit more of the roots reggae stuff with some lovers rock in the vibe. But with this Omari Banks Trio, I'm going to produce the music I'm going to produce is going to be a little bit more out there. It's going to be still some reggae stuff and island vibes, but it's going to be a little bit more steeped into guitar-based music, reggae, R&B, funk, rock, blues, that kind of vibe, but with a foundation in reggae music as well. So it's going to be interesting. And the band, the Police of the 1980s, were a huge group. Sting, I think Shaggy's collaborated with them, and they were a trio band who, took the world over by storm. And their music was heavily based in reggae music as well. If you listen to their music, it was heavily based in reggae music. They took a lot of their textures from reggae music. And yeah, so it can be done. And it's something that I love to do. I'm a guitar player, so for me, musically, I want to express myself. And I'm just looking forward to create music which I feel is can live on beyond me, and one I feel showcases who I am musically as well.
We have to put you on the spot, Omari.
Okay.
Draw for the guitar.
Okay.
And bet the fans them hear something. Piece out any of your song them. Yeah, man.
All right, let me see what we got. I'm gonna do a song, one that's called "No Point to Prove." I actually did this one with Peter Morgan. Peter Morgan of the group Morgan Heritage.
Morgan Heritage, yeah.
And check this one. This one is called "No Point to Prove." No point to prove. Don't front me, try confused. But I come from boy paper. I make the moves, the rest them follow. Hey, them the mind. Doing our thing, take me blessing the time. And I come from boy paper. I make the moves, the rest them follow. Beware of those one never satisfied. Ambition great, but please don't compare your life with mine. Homegrown and safe is from with smile, we never afraid to speak for mine. Me and talk the truth, who get vexed, tell them get left behind. So we don't seek acceptance when we speak or go in front of the public eye. Real recognize real. Speak of myself, never glorify. No point to prove. Don't front me, try confuse. But I come from boy paper. I make the moves, the rest them follow. Pay them the mind. Doing our thing, take a blessing the time. But I come from boy paper. I make the moves, the rest them follow. I'll do a song for the ladies. This one's called Naturally, all right? I'll tell it how it is. Yes, you know for sure. If my love to you, say I'm full. Excited girl, walking with your hips. Yes, I'm mesmerized. Things that's running through the set of mine, words can't describe. Yeah, you make this lovely. How you can walk into my world and be my only. Yeah. What are the chances of meeting somebody? Yeah. That can love me so naturally. So that's a little thing.
Yeah, man. We love the vibe, Reggie. We love the vibe.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Real star. But Omari, like in terms of dancehall and reggae artists though, do you have any favorites?
I got a lot. I mean, I got a lot of people that I love within. I mean, people like, of course, are like the Chronics, are like Romain Virgo, Christopher Martin, my boy Kumar. Who else? I mean, there's so much. There's so much. I mean, I'm a big fan of reggae music, and I've met a lot of them personally. But coming here over the years, I mean, people like Buju Banton is good friends with my dad. Who else? You know, when you start calling names, you start forgetting everybody. Um, yeah, but I mean, yeah, the whole reggae fraternity. I mean, whether it's Jesse Royal, Kabaka Pyramid, all these people are people that I mean, I've met before, and,
Right.
and I've been in the circle. So they are good people who I respect. You know what I mean, and love their musical style. So I mean, I'm a lover of music. You know what I'm saying? So and I think as an artist, what makes life or what makes your journey that more impressive is one having an appreciation for a lot of different styles. It may not be the exact same thing that you do, but you have an appreciation for it, and you can take something from it and say, "Oh, cool, that was clever. That was wicked. How them do that?" You know what I'm saying? Or how them some people are more lyricists, some people are more musical, but it's just having that appreciation for all of it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, as somebody who's a creative or an artist, I've always admired people who can go about things their way and have their own unique way of getting things done. So there's a couple of the people, you know what I mean, who I look up to. I mean, people like the guys from Third World, Cat Core, and those guys
Right.
are dear to my heart. He's like my uncle, you know what I mean? I've got a guitar in my house right now, which he gave to me. I actually gave. He's played with my father's band for years.
Okay.
Yeah, Benji Myers. I don't know if you know him, you know. I love you.
Yeah, man, Benji. Yeah, man.
Benji. All those guys, those are like my uncle, man.
Yeah.
All those people are people who I kind of grew up around as a child, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Junior Jazz. I don't know if you're familiar with Junior Jazz, but he's another Jamaican, but he's actually the lead singer for the Wailers right now.
Yeah.
But he's another one who's been around from a child, played guitar in my dad's band for years, over 15 years from his time in New York to now. So, yeah, I've got a kind of wide musical palette, and I just enjoy it all. But just having a great time right now, just kind of taking a detour in a different direction in terms of from the traditional straight up, I should say, roots reggae, which I did in the past. I'm gonna do something just a little bit, of course, from that reggae still, but just put a little bit, a little bit of my sauce on top of it.
Boy, the link there, man. The link there. We see the connection, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man, for real, Bridget. And those are some good influences to be around, Bridget. Some of those names you call. Yeah, man, really good influences to be around. In terms of where you want your musical career to go, though, what's your goal, your aim? What's the great achievement?
The great, I mean, like anybody else, and everything that I say doesn't mean that wouldn't want to get the highest honors within music. So I mean, whether it's just to get a Grammy or whatever, for sure that would be something that I would love, and that's what I aspire to as well. But I mean, along the way, I think ultimately I want to be musically satisfied as an artist. I gotta feel like there's some kind of growth, and I've never been the kind of person just to when you dangle a carrot and I just run at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm the kind of guy who wants to create things which I believe is meaningful. I'm gratified with that, and then hopefully everybody else kind of appreciates the art that I put out there. So at the end of the day, what I want to do is continue to make music, work with people who I really admire. I mean, I've been blessed enough to work with some biggest names in reggae music, even and a musician spot, whether from Robbie Lynn, Sly Dunbar, Glenn Brown, Dean Fraser, Stephen Stanley, Clive Hunt. I mean, I've worked with the who's who, every single body within that kind of reggae fraternity from start to finish. Dwayne Stevens, I've done collaborations with J Vibe. You know what I mean? So with Jimmy Morgan, actually, we did a single years ago as well, a couple stuff years ago. But I mean, in terms of reggae music, I've worked with a lot of people within that. But my goal is just to continue to create music, which I believe that I'm 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 giving the world something that's me. You know what I mean? That's me. I'm not just trying to push out music which I feel is just hot for a particular time. Okay, cool. This is in. I want to do this now. That's in. Let's do this now. But just give myself. I've always been told when people hear my music that your music is unique, it's different, and they comment about the production of my music, the quality of the production. So I want to continue to keep that up. Make sure to keep my when people hear my music, they have a great respect for it, and ultimately, I want to make sure that I'm saying something that can impact people's lives and impact the world positively. Because at the end of the day, I think music is very powerful. And
Definitely.
although every artist, majority of artists will always say they want to have a positive impact, I think a lot of the times the music that some of our counterparts put out can be contrary to that. And for me, I always try to create music which I believe is not trying to be self-righteous, but trying to be self-righteous, but I feel is wholesome. There is fun, but I believe I have a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old daughter, and I like to believe that any song that I put out, I can let them listen to it. I think that's the kind
Definitely.
of that's the kind of marker of what
Yeah.
I would decide whether or not this music is music that you know what I mean. I feel comfortable putting out. If I can let my 7-year-old, my 10-year-old daughter listen to it, it's good enough.
Yeah, man. Well said, bro. Well said. So what's next for Omari though? What's
Yeah, so as I said before, yeah, just working on the OBT, Omari Banks Trio EP, which I'm looking to. I've already started working on one song and I'm looking to bring out a single and a music video for the next couple of weeks, so to a month and a bit. Hopefully, have an EP ready by this spring to release. I'm actually going to be traveling to going on tour to the US to do a couple of dates next on Friday, actually. Just to do a
okay?
couple of private events. I'm going over to do for a week, do some shows over there, come back home, and yeah, just work on music, perform around here in Angola until I have to go back out to play again, and then definitely just continue to work on the album, work on the EP, work on the EP, and
Right.
and just create something which I think that people will like.
Definitely.
Yeah,
All
man.
right. All right, Omari. That's a just remind fans where they can find on your socials though.
Yeah, so definitely make sure that you check me out on Instagram at Omari Banks Music on Instagram, and Facebook it's Omari Banks. On YouTube, make sure you follow and subscribe. It's Omari Banks as well. My webpage is www.omaribanks.com. Make sure you go over as well to my Sessions Live page. Go over to Sessions, search Omari Banks, and you can get exclusive content there as well. All right. So just remember my name, Instagram, Twitter, it's Omari Banks Music, Facebook, it's Omari Banks. My webpage is omaribanks.com, YouTube, Omari Banks. Remember my name and you can get in contact with me anytime.
All right. Well, there you have it. Omari, thanks for
Yes,
hanging
sir.
out with us on next Friday, bro.
Yeah, man, and big up yourself and say hi to everybody in Jamaica. I've got a lot of good friends and family over
Yeah,
there
man.
who look out for me every time that I come over. Big up all the cricketers, you know what I mean? Chris Gale, you know what I mean? Marlon Samuels, Carlton Barr. Yeah, all those guys, Wavell Hines, you know, all those guys are my brethren them from the days of cricket. So everybody in Jamaica who continue to support me, I want to say thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to come back over again and doing some recording. Just looking forward to this pandemic to be over soon, you know what I mean? So we can get back to normal things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, for real. But as you mentioned that, you know, Omari, I mean, a couple of our cricketers, West Indian cricketers, have taken on music as well, you know. Maybe we can look out for a grand collaboration. I don't know.
No, definitely that's in the works. Definitely that's in the works. So that will happen very soon as well. So look out for that one for sure.
For real, bro, for real. All right. So peeps, there you have it. Another exciting episode of Next Friday. Now be sure to go and subscribe, share, like, click the notification bell. Do the thing, man. Because you don't want to miss a beat. And remember, next Friday, every Friday. We out.